Welcome back. Let me show you how to make assistants in the OpenAI platform. So you go here to the website platform.openai.com. So the first thing you need to do is to go to the assistants section. And if you don't have an assistant there, you just click create. So I already have one I am working on and will highlight in this video. So we go to this one. This is what the one I call X highlights converter. So there are a couple of key sections. You do have the name. In this case, I do recommend to give it a name that makes a lot of sense to you, especially when you have multiple assistants. It's not currently possible to make folders for your assistants, so definitively make names that make a lot of sense. The next section to look at is the instructions. This is where you essentially write the system prompt. So if you click on this icon, then you can go full, well, not full page, but then you can expand it. So I thought I should guide you a bit through, this prompt, such that you can sort of understand the structure. So my plan with this agent, I like to call them agent instead of assistants. You can of course call them assistants, but when you go to YouTube and other places, you will hear agents more anyway. The plan here is that I will just give this agent content, could be from the internet, could be from a book, whatever, but I just give it content and it will be able to make very interesting Facebook posts. Also, like stuff I find on X, some interesting post, I will just throw it into this one and it will make something inspired by it. So this is how it begins. In your new role, you are a specialized GPT agent called Mida. So this is actually a pretty key thing. Yeah, let's pick, maybe pick yellow, yeah. Okay, so in this case, I'm giving it a role where it is a specialized GPT agent. I have tested by giving it like the role of being a human expert in like Facebook posting or be a celebrity. You can give it all kinds of different roles. The downside, I suspect, with giving it a human role is that it will also limit itself. Because if you tell the AI that, oh, you are a human with 50 years and you have 20 years experience in this field, then it will play that role, but it might actually then limit itself. By being a specialized GPT agent, I think I get a lot more from it. Then I write, you are an eminent Facebook poster, fine-tuned for engaging sales and marketing professionals. So here we get into the target audience. You will be given a piece of content from the web, and your task is to think about how this will affect your target audience. They come to read your posts to get your take on these news. So the key structure here is that you specify the agent, you tell the agent it's what it's expected to do, the target audience, and also what kind of content it should expect to get, and what to do with it. Next is your style and personality. So I do have this in a separate section. So you have strong opinions and optimistic about new technologies. Indeed, you are a transhumanist, embracing everything from AGI to genetic engineering. You are very pragmatic and practical, always focused on utility and use cases. You also have strong opinions about writing styles and believe every word should earn its place. So what I try to circumvent here is GPT being too much GPT. It can be very sort of like without any kind of personality, where it's sort of like, oh, this is good and this other thing is also good. It doesn't want to take a position. So in this case, I'm sort of pushing it in the direction of having a position. And by making it more opinionated, I will also attempt at least to make it sound a lot more human, because that is the type of stuff a human journalist or social media manager would do, but not something a machine would do. While that does not mean you always write short posts, it means your writing is characterized by conciseness and high informational utility. So let me just highlight that. So this section here is to sort of circumvent GPT's weakness, where it has a tendency, right, to be very verbose. It starts yapping and yapping and yapping. So that's something I try to neutralize. And then I have a section about how you work. So here I tell it that to work in 2 separate steps, and both should be part of your output. Demarcate these steps with H2 headings. Do not use a markdown in your output. So the reason why I give it these 2 steps is that in the first step, I trigger it to do something called priming. So GPT has a lot of knowledge, but in this case, I wanted to think more deeply about this task. So that is the entire step 1. Decide on how to optimize your post for Facebook, explain this concisely, and imagine that your reasoning will be reviewed by other eminent people in your field. Guidelines: never use exclamation marks, never start any paragraph within, confirm in this section that you checked the file called examples. So I have attached a file with examples of great previous posts. The point of this step 1 is to just really make it think deeply. So not only do I tell it to tell me how it thought, but it is also imagining that this will be reviewed by other eminent people in its field. And then here we have step 2. So write the Facebook post, making sure to put the reasoning you did in step 1 into practice. Your Facebook post should follow this format. And here I do give it actually the actual format I expect. I have found that this is quite necessary, because GPT has its own style. It's rather verbose, and it just keeps doing that. It's a bit hard to make it not do it. So the easiest thing I have found is to just outright tell it the structure. So here I say title, write a short and intriguing title. It should either be a question, a thought-provoking statement, or have a numerical list format. Use emojis, capitalization, or punctuation to draw attention. Content, and that is a separate section. Write max 1 to 2 sentences for each paragraph. Use bullet lists when it makes sense. The content should be very concise and easy to read, hence no long form content. So here I, again, which I also did further up, I try to sort of prevent it from becoming too much GPT, where for every query, it throws a page of content at you, which doesn't work, at least on Facebook or X, if you want to use something like this for X. Then ending with a call to action, and then hashtags. And here I give it some instructions about the knowledge base. So yes, this is a somewhat detailed prompt, but I have found that it works pretty well. So when you have an assistant or agent, you can go here to the playground, click on playground, click on assistants, make sure that it is picked. In this case, the right one is picked. So let's test it. Yeah, so here is a news story from the AI Godfather. So let's just copy this content like that. Then we just paste it in here, and then you click on run here. So now it is off and running. So I would recommend to test the agent inside of the playground to see whether it gives you the content you want. So here first we get step 1, where it sort of makes a plan for how to write. So we are now priming it, and then it writes the content itself. So it's title, content, CTA, hashtags. So one of the issues we do see here is that it literally will say title, content, CTA, hashtags. So in this case, I did go into the instructions and then I say, do not include format subheadings in your step 2 output. So I'm trying to avoid, this. So let's test the same thing again. It's very, very important to test the same thing to make sure whenever you make a change that you have like a baseline that is the same. So let's see now. Okay, so now it does the step 1, and okay, so now we do see there's a bit of a nuance issue here. It's not like a big weakness with the AI, but the instruction I gave here, and this is within step 2. Do not include format subheadings in your step 2 output. But now it also stopped doing that in its step 1. It's not a big issue, but it happened. But in this case, you see that we still have the issue here in step 2. So this highlights one of the current weaknesses with GPT, even the advanced GPT 4o model that I currently use. So GPT is sort of a bit autistic. I think that is the easiest way to describe it, because I do tell it right here to follow a format, and it does so, but it also includes the actual parts of that format, like it says content, title, hashtags. So I'm going to work more on this prompt to get it finalized, to sort of get the best of both worlds, where I do get it to stick to a format. Simultaneously, I also prevent it from actually mentioning these key parts of the expected format. Let me just do a quick check whether this also is an issue with the GPT-4. Okay, so GPT-4 Turbo. Okay, so let's take GPT-4 Turbos to still get file search enabled. Yeah. Okay, so it's now ready for a test. Copy this content assistance. Yes, it's that one. Just to check if there is a difference between 4.0 and 4. So step 1, not a problem. This is just for priming anyway. You see that it's way less structured than GPT-4o. Yeah, we do get the same issue here in step 2. So yeah, I will work a bit more on this prompt. When I have it fine-tuned, then it will be able to be integrated with Zapier, and then I can automate all kinds of really cool stuff. But yeah, this is a quick intro into how to work with the assistants or agents section in the OpenAI platform, and that is where you have to work in order to make agents that can work in apps. Because if you sit and work in ChatGPT, it's not the same thing, because you can more finely control the behavior on the OpenAI platform.